Okay, wow. Thank you, Rosangela. That was very beautiful, very spiritual. Our next phenomenal woman, as they say, will be Sister Sabrina.
So my experience at the Academy has been very amazing. I've learned a lot about myself, good and bad. I made a lot of new friends, reunited with some old ones, and I received what I like to call now my conscious family. The things that stick out to me the most are learning about the energies in the body, like the Ka'ab and the Bab, learning more about the greatness of African people, my people, learning the importance of venerating my ancestors, and meeting great new role models, my sisters, my brothers with similar interests. A part of my pledge is to speak the stories of my ancestors and my people through my artistic expressions, through my visual art, and through my poetry. So I have a poem that I wrote when I first started taking the course, so like 9 months ago. It's called Stolen Truth, and I can honestly say it means so much more to me now, reading it here for you today than 9 months earlier. So it's called Stolen Truth for the Ancestors. I've lost my gods, I've lost my lands, I've lost my heritage, I've lost my truth. I've fallen far, far away from the tree whose roots were attached to that there stolen land. My two hands grasp desperately, dangerously, drearily depicting attempts to feel the actual greatness that is hidden from my two visible eyes. My body sways to the drums that beat fires into my ancestors' hearts. My skin glistens under the same sun that they rose and saluted passionately each day. For I am them, and they too are me. The same fire ignites my blood to succeed and be the successor in this continuing battle to the end, where we all will fall under the same moon and be reborn again with the rise of the same sun. For I am them, and they too are me. We must say their names, reignite their flames, lift them up with our praise. Although we have forgotten them, they have not forgotten us. They await the day till we remember our names, break free from our chains, mental blocks that they lay, and realize who we are. Greatness, wisdom, the beginningless beginning, the all in all blackness, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blackness. For I am them, and they too are me.
Ready? Here we go. Nice.
In the spirit of our ancestors, we have a mathematician, scientist among us, engineering, phenomenal woman among us, Sister Nikita.
Thank you all for being here with us. I'm from Texas, so I have down south all my family. My original family is not here. But we look to stand on the shoulders of those before us, and we are happy to have strong soldiers such as the elders. And we thank you for sharing all of your knowledge and your stories with us. To my parents, William and Deborah Bowman, my brother Kyron, my sister Shayla, my nephews Che and Amari, and my other sister Seth. I love you and I thank you for being there, no matter what, always loving and accepting me, right or wrong, and always willing to show the light. To know that no matter what I do, you guys are always there. Many peace and blessings of our Creator upon you, and all of you as well. I have journeyed from the plains of our motherland. Can you hear? Can you see the birds chirping, the animals singing, the cool breeze over the savannah? The tribes are praising and revering their ancestors, and there is a sense of ma'at, right knowledge, right relationships, and truth, justice, and righteousness. This represents me and my youth, my time of innocence. The media, books, fairy tales, Disney, music transform me. I was raised with morals, values, ethics, responsibility, and leadership, and was untaught as I was washed in white at school, TVs, and music. I was tormented for being bigger, taller, darker. This was my ma'afa. Being taken from the comforts of my ancestry and culture and thrown into theirs.
Yes.
I had to fight. I had to first realize I was in a war. I had to remember I was taken and I was not home, that my hair naturally is curly. My skin being dark is not only beautiful, but a blessing.
Yes.
Covered in coal, I am naturally protected from the sun.
Whoa.
I had to realize I had been taken, kidnapped, not enslaved. That was the beginning of my journey back home. My spirit was close, but my mind was trailing. That's when I was sent to the academy.
That's right.
This has been my conscious journey. This academy, not Peruvian University, but this has been my conscious journey to finally unchain my shackles, not only for myself, but for my progeny and my family, to help empower them to unshackle themselves,
Yes.
to fight the demons and their consciousness and demise. We have been taught to be our own worst enemy. When you look at black on black crime, it starts heart versus soul and mind versus body. One of my biggest lessons I learned was to look at your captive and really study him to see you don't want to be like him.
Right.
If you look at the media and what we usually aspire to be, we aspire to be them. But we need to aspire to be us.
Yeah.
To be us, to be us, to be us.
Yes.
These lessons I will share through spoken word and art, but mostly to write the knowledge on the wall and share it and pass forward, just as our ancestors inscribed it on the pyramids. That cannot be taken away from us, no matter how much they try.
Right.
Inscribed in stone. Thousands of years later. As a holistic psychotherapist and holistic practitioner, I will work to help mold strong hearts and minds and build healthy relationships. And I join the ranks of brothers and sisters to be the shoulders for the next generation. To be of the scholarly realm with Brother Disa, John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, and Dr. Jagoy DeGroy, as a scholar of African-centered psychology. As an author, I will be as our ancestors and inscribe the writing on the wall through my books. I will serve, I will love, I will hear, and I will go. As Nuk Kanai, I am continually and never ending improving.
Yes.
And I ask for your encouragement and to pull my chain when you think I need it. Dr. Nteri.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, I have a couple more things. I listened to the pledge. I texted it to myself. I pledge allegiance to my black people. I pledge to develop my mind and body to the greatest extent possible. I will learn all that I can in order to give my best to my people in their struggle for liberation. I will keep myself physically fit, building a strong body free from drugs and other substances which weaken me and make me less capable of protecting myself, my family, and my black brothers and sisters. I will unselfishly share my knowledge and understanding with them in order to bring about change more quickly. I will discipline myself to direct my energies thoughtfully and constructively rather than wasting them in idle hatred. I will train myself never to hurt or allow others to harm my black brothers and sisters, for I recognize we need every man, woman, and child to be physically, mentally, and psychologically strong. These principles I pledge to practice daily and to teach them to others in order to unite my people. One last thing. I promise. Can you, so y'all might hate Beyonce for whatever reason. She came up with this song, I Am Here, if you haven't heard it. I know, just 1 second. I'm just gonna do one verse from it. Can you push this one? Actually, you don't have to play. I'll just read it to you for the sake of time.
I have it on.
Okay.
Oh, turn it up loud. Turn it up so we can hear.
I'm gonna leave my footprints on the sands of time. Well, there was something that and something that I left behind. When I leave this world, I'll leave no regrets. Leave something to remember so they won't forget I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did, I've done everything that I wanted and was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know we were here.
Wow, we got some.
Patricia's tall, so we gotta stand up.
I think all of us elders can feel really comfortable to leave this universe at some point knowing that we have these beautiful, beautiful people that we have left to rule and to continue this beautiful legacy. Last but not least, we have a brother here that teaches us. He's our teacher. We're in our Metronetra class and we're learning the hieroglyphs, so-called hieroglyphics. We call it the Metronetra. And we're always consulting with Brother Europa. Brother Europa, what does that say? Brother Europa, how do you do that? He is our everything in our Kaaba class. And he is our everything coming to this class. He's so beautiful, so peaceful, so kind. And we want to welcome him.
Okay. I'm gonna just read off these cards real quick. My experience in the Academy of Kemetic Education, Right Relationship, Right Knowledge, has been interesting. I have learned a little more about the soul and spirit and our relationship to the Most High Supreme Intelligence being of all. My most treasured insight is into the particular Ka'aba science of astrology. The knowledge I gained about myself is that I still have work to do in battling my own inner demons. I learned humanity has the same problem. My service is to kill my own inner demons and help humanity kill its own. I learned nothing is new under the sun, and no matter how far we fall into chaos, which is Isfet, my ancestors call it Isfet, eventually the only way to go will be up, back to the source, back to correct peace, balance, and justice. My sole purpose is to fight the energies of Set Isfet, which today on this planet is white people collectively. I don't care how nice an individual white friend is, collectively when they come together and they just cause mass destruction on the planet. And and to help bring healing and peace and justice to the world. Wow.
Nteri is going to introduce our guest speaker. But prior to her doing that, I just want you to know that I know Dr. Angela Cook, Angela we call her. Angela, one day, Sister Angela, Sister Doctor, one day we were in a board meeting. I just will never forget this. There was a sister, no names mentioned, but her name was Angela, and Sister Angela was there. And this sister, the other sister, she happened to be a dark-skinned sister. And she did not agree with some policy we were going to have about Page Academy. So Sister Angela said, I'm the black Sister Angela, okay? So don't play me. Okay? But anyway, it was a beautiful moment. And this sister has sacrificed herself so much for our people, so much for our community. Thank you, sister.
well, I'll just start out where I would end and say, Sister Angela is who I want to be when I grow up. I want, you know, she and her husband Joe, and someone sang us praises about a couple, but this is the couple to.
Yes.
We're just taking our baby steps, Peru and I, because this is the couple who've already built a 44-year-old institution. Education for our children. They have generations now that they have educated. So I'll just start where I would end, which is to say this is who I want to be when I grow up. You know, Angela and I, we kind of met in waves. We'd see each other in the community. We are so close, and it is because the Spirit has it so. And but we kind of met in waves. I'd see her here, I'd see her there. I'd see her and we'd go to some place and she'd be in the restroom and I'd be in there and we'd kind of have a chat, and then I didn't see her, and then she didn't see me, but in my inner vision I was seeing this woman who I put it together was Angela, and I was walking through the house that they live in, and it wasn't until I put it all together I said, I know who you are. I know who you are. So we know each other in spirit, and we've known each other a long time. And with no further ado, I want to bring Sister Angela, Dr. Angela Cook. Let's get Joe up, Dr. Joe, because he's a doctor in his own right. He's a physicist, and so they have no shortage of. Is this at your mask bottle? I just put it so it takes a little. So let's get them both up here to take a picture.
Thanks, Dave.
And Dr. Angela Cook is going to talk with us about the school that they have co-founded, Page Academy. Want to turn the kid?
Yes.
Okay, but come, let's greet the couple, the power in this couple. I want to get you on your feet for this couple. Yes. Okay. The struggle, the sweat, the blood, the tears that have gone into keeping this institution going. He'll tell you about it. But we are so blessed to have them in our presence. In this moment, we are so blessed. And how many couples, how many African diaspora couples do you know that have created a 44-year-old institution for educating our children? So here they are.
Never wait.
Never wait. So here, without any further ado, Dr. Angela Cook.
Wow.
Thank you so much. After all of that grand hoopla, I feel like, who are they talking about? It's like one person out here trying to do what we all have to do to make the world a better place for all of us. I just really want to thank Dr. Nteri for inviting me to come to speak to you all. And I really am impressed with, louder? Okay. I'm really impressed. That's my friend, my neighbor, Brother Napoleon, who we've known each other for ages. I feel like this is our home week here. All of you are family, and it's always a pleasure to speak to family, because a lot of times I'm speaking to people other than family, and they don't want to hear what I have to say. So they give me a hard time. So it's nice to look out there and see a family and know that what I have to say is what you already believe. I'm so impressed with the initiatives who have spoken and what you all have had to say. It was very inspiring, and I just feel the same way as Sister Paula feels. Paula and I have known each other forever as well, and we've worked together. She's a member of our board at Page Academy, as is Sister Nteri and Sister Marie. we have the Warrior Woman Board. We are warrior women and men. We have men on our board as well. And we don't, you know, we don't play. We have our weapons even though you can't see them. So I just want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you've already said. I don't want to spend too much time because, you know, everyone has said so many wonderful things and things that are meaningful and important. But the thing that I want to say to you and talk to you a little bit about what I've been doing is do not be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an African proverb that says, it's better to have tried and failed than to have never tried at all.
Right.
And a lot of times people feel as though, well, I don't want to try something because if I do, it might not work. It might bomb out. It might fail. I might not be able to accomplish whatever it is that I had intended to accomplish. But do not be afraid. You cannot be afraid to do whatever it is that you think it is that you want to do. And fear is the thing that usually stops people. You know, you get out there and you feel that fear, the fear hits you, and you say, oh, let me go and not do this. So, you know, one of the things that we wanted to do with Page Academy was to build a beautiful school. And so we've made it beautiful because so often we've seen our children put in the basement of a church or some little, you know, spot off the side of the road that, you know, sort of got put together with the little money that folks could scrape together. And they didn't really have the beauty that they wanted to have. And so we built the school. It cost us $3.5 million to get the school. And the bank said, well, how are you all going to pay it back? We're like, no problem, we'll pay it back. I didn't know how we were going to pay it back. I didn't have 20 cents in my pocket. But I said, I signed the thing for $3.5 million. I'm like, sure, we'll pay it back. And if we don't, we'll be dead by then. I mean, it wasn't my worry that we paid over, we owe about maybe $1 million left. So we paid more than $500,000, $2.5 million of the money that we borrowed. But a lot of times people are afraid of money. They think that I don't have enough money, there isn't enough money, we haven't got the money for the mortgage on the farm. That's a broken record. You need to throw it away. You know, money is just money. You can't live your life based on whether you have the money. I remember I had a really beautiful Afghan dog, and the dog got hit by a car and almost died. So I took the dog to Angel Memorial Hospital, and they said, it's going to cost you a lot of money for you to get this dog back on its feet again because she's really, really hurt. I said, I don't care how much it costs, do whatever it takes. So they did multiple operations and all kinds of stuff, and they gave me the bill. It was like $10,000 for the dog, you know. And so I said, okay, you know, just get the dog up and around. We got to save the dog, you know. And so the dog lived, and the dog was really well, and the dog was happy. And so then I went back in, and they said, well, how are you going to pay this? I said, well, do you have any kind of special, you know, thing for people who don't have 10 brains? And they said, well, you know, we learned so much from operating on your dog. We did, because Angel Memorial is a teaching hospital. And they did all these operations that they don't get to do because the students, nobody will say, will go on and do whatever it costs. So most people, the students don't get to have these experiences. So they were so happy that they had the experience of doing all these operations. They said, we'll just give it to you. You don't have to And so I said, well, it's something, you know. I said, I can pay you $100. You know. You all do such a good job with my dog, and I want you to know I appreciate it. So I gave him $100. And that's the way things always happen. When you just have the faith and you put it out there, the money will really come. And people won't believe that. I tell them that all the time. I'm always telling people. People say, oh, I'd love to work for Page Academy, but you gotta pay me $80 grand because I'm all that in a bag of chips. And you're more than all of that. and you deserve to have everything that is coming to you. But if you're doing the work that you're supposed to do, you're going to get that and more.
Right.
It'll all come to you, and you'll have a beautiful building, and you'll be able to raise the bar. Because what we try to do at Page Academy is raise the bar. Because a lot of times with black children, they're ADD and they're not able to do this, and they got all kinds of hyperactivity problems, and so you can't teach them so much of life. But that's not true. It's just not true. The children have, they're smart. It's like the difference between dial-up and DSL. If we gave you all dial-up and you had to sit there, you'd be wiggling around too. We don't want dial-up, we want DSL, we want a fast line, just a quick, on our computer. And that's the way the kids are. They don't want to sit there and listen to some teacher who doesn't have anything interesting to say, and they got to sit at their desk and with their pencil. They want to move it quick. They're part of the new generation of education.
Right.
And so they need a teacher who's well prepared, who comes in with lots of things to go on, so that the children can pick up from different aspects of their personalities. And we have to teach them, to be themselves, the children. They don't have to worry about trying to fit into a mold that says you have to sit at your table, you have to use your pencil, you have to do these things or the other thing. Because everybody doesn't fit into a certain mold. We're all different. We all know that. We all have our kuumba creativity, and we know it. But a lot of times in the school systems, everybody's expected to be one way. It's like this. You have to fit into the square K, where if you're a circle, you don't fit into that. So we have to understand that around the money and not being afraid. And we also have to understand, and Mel King, when I was a fellow at MIT, and Mel King used to say this all the time, everything that we need is right here in this room. Everything. We don't need to go anywhere outside of this room to get whatever it is that we need. Everything we need is right here. So we lack nothing. Whatever room you're in with whatever people you're in, that's everything you need. And Mel would always tell us that. And I'd say, what is he talking about? We need a lot of stuff that's not in here. But it wasn't true, because there were people in the room that had the resources that we needed to get the job done if we all put our minds and hearts together to make sure that it was getting done. But back to the money part. I grew up in Washington, D.C., so I went to black schools all through my life, Chocolate City. And I saw black kids doing really well. It was because it was all black teachers, black principals, black everybody. The kids did well in school. So when I came to Boston and I first got here, I didn't know that I was going to come, so I had a job as a substitute. So I would go around to all the schools, and I noticed that all the black kids, especially the boys, were in these special needs classes in the basement. And so I said, well, what's up with that? Why are these kids, all these black kids in the special needs classes? And they would always send me to those classes. And I could work with those kids, and they would do really well in there. So I would talk to the principal and say, well, what is the problem? And they'd say, well, these kids, but they didn't have anybody who was really culturally relating to them. So they knew that those women, mostly women, who were teaching didn't like those boys. They didn't want to be around them. They could feel that kids are very, very sensitive and you can feel things really easily. So they know when someone cares about them and when someone doesn't. So having had that experience of going through school, I went to a black college, Fisk University, and I was there when Stokely was there doing the SNCC, and I was out on the front line with all of the Black Power movement at that time. Kathleen Cleaver is my cousin, and she was married to Eldridge Cleaver, and they were doing the Black Power thing, and so we just sort of, I have a family of folks who have just sort of been out there on the front line. But we always believed that what we were doing was righteous, and so even in 1969, when we started Freedom Schools in Nashville, Tennessee, there were schools that were just on Saturdays, and the children would come from the community. And we would serve them breakfast, and we would teach them a little bit about their history. And one day we were sitting in the school, and about 10 police cars drove up with their sirens on. And we were in this little storefront that we had, gotten to have the program in. And these cops just came in with their billy clubs, and they just broke out all the windows, and broke up everything in the school. At the time, I was 19. I couldn't believe it. I was like, and they just broke everything and left. And the kids were screaming. They called us all kind of N-words and everything else. And we were standing there saying, my goodness, and we were afraid, very afraid. But we went on and continued to have our schools, and we moved inside the university, which was difficult at that time, even though it was a black college. So we were at a black university, but we had to get the black people there to understand that what we had to do was talk more about our history and our heritage, even at that time. And things did change as a matter of course, because we protested. And Stokely was so cool. He would come in and tell us, Black Power, and everybody had afros, but then things changed. And everybody who had afros and was being really African-centered, they started straightening their hair, and it's like we were going, what happened to all those years of, black consciousness? It seems like it just sort of went out the window. But now I can see it coming back. I look out and see, my sisters looking like, yeah, I'm proud and I'm black. It's like Black Power. I'm black. And we can say that, and we can feel it. But we do have to raise money for our institutions. And recently I was at a reunion at Fisk University, and we were trying to raise money to the alumni. And there was a lot of us there. And we had a whole weekend, and it's like in the church, lock the door, you ain't getting out until you and everybody spoke, and people were digging deep, trying to come up with, whatever they could to pay, to give to the school. And after the weekend was over, and these are all, pretty middle-class, bougie folks who had come to the school, and now they're all working. We were able to raise $60,000, and we were really impressed. We felt like, we got $60,000, and it's going to make that much of a dent in the bills that we had to pay. But it was a good start, and it took us 3 days to raise our money. I mean, every day somebody was out there talking, no, y'all ain't going until we get, we got 4,000. We need 4,500. Who got, So it was that kind of a thing. But a little later on, I went to MIT to grad school as well, and I was going to an MIT reunion, and we were having a little lunch. It wasn't even a 3-day. It was just a lunch. It was an hour and a half. So they served the lunch, and they had these little cards on the table. And the little cards, you're supposed to check off how much money you were going to give. And then at the end of the time, somebody went around and collected the cards. Nobody went through, you got to dig deep. Go ahead, just fill your stuff out, put it on the card. And after, the person, we had lunch, and the person talked a little bit about what was happening at the college, at MIT. They announced that they had raised $500,000. And it took them 20 minutes. Wow. And they were saying, thank you so much, no big hoopla. And I was thinking to myself, now, how can they raise $500,000 in 20 minutes? And we raised $60,000 in 3. We're just as smarter. We're just as competent or able. But it's because we didn't get to have our ancestors pass on our heritage to us. And when you don't have that passing on of your heritage for generation after generation after generation, you don't have the wealth that other people have. They have wealth because they pass it on from generation to generation. So now we have to understand that and begin to pass our wealth on from one generation to the next, and our land and our ownership, so that you will see, especially in Boston, where there are a lot of institutions that start, like Elmer Lewis, May Gad Powell, these are all people who have started institutions. When they die, they close. Wow. Because as the brother spoke earlier said, if you all don't keep it going, then it's going to be a condo when you drive by. Wow. And Harvard University is Harvard University because they have an endowment of millions of dollars, even when they lost a lot of money in the stock market. And they put their money back into that institution. And it doesn't rest on one people. You don't even know who started Harvard University.
I know, right?
Nobody cares. It was just somebody started it, and now 20 years later, it's got money, and it keeps going. And that's how we have to think about it. It doesn't matter that Joe and I started Page County. What matters is, will it continue past us, or will you drive down Highland Ave and say, oh, those are condos now? And it's not as though we're not under attack all the time. We are constantly under attack. It's like starting this school is like riding a roller coaster. You know, you just get on, you never get off. It's always, you know, a roller coaster ride. But after a while, you get used to that adrenaline rush, and you just hold on, you know, and ride. You know, you're just not afraid of it. You just go with it. And a lot of times, I think people, when the road gets rocky, but you will, more so than not, then we say, oh, let me off. I got to get off. You can't get off. Once you make that commitment, you got to stay on the ride until you die.
Wow.
Until you die. Until you close your eyes and it's over. And then when they, you know, they step over you and you're down on the ground, then it's like, then you still blow some air up on them. I know you're still there. So you know, it's the struggle that we have to have. And the thing that's so good about it, even though it is a roller coaster ride and it's really, really, really hard and you don't have any money and you might die, it's still you see the laughter that we're having. The laughter is what makes it.
Right.
The laughter and the giving back. I mean, we give back to our children and we get multiple gifts given back to us. We don't really need any money, really, because everybody gives us everything. Wow. Everywhere we go, someone's like, oh, you want this, you want that? You're like, no, we got too much. We can't take anything. So, you know, giving back, keeping active, keeping moving, and continuing to love one another and love your partner and your family. And love is a hard thing. Like, people always think love is easy. Like, they, you know, you're always applauding our marriage. We've been married for 42 years. It's a commitment to working through whatever it is that happens in our relationship. It's no little, you know, samba. This is, let's see, what dance would I compare? Tango. It's an African dance. You know, you gotta move it. It's not easy. You have to compromise. You have to make adjustments. And you have to love no matter what. I mean, no matter how we may disagree and how we may not be on the same page, we still love each other no matter what. And that's the kind of commitment that people don't understand when they have a relationship. It doesn't have to be a marriage. It can be a friendship. It can be a child that you're raising. It's long term. So even if we decide that we have to step away from the car for a minute because we're not getting along, saying, I need some space, you need some space, that's okay. But you still don't stop loving the person. You still love them, you still respect them, you still adore them. Because they are your soulmate. They are the person that you've made a commitment to. So that kind of commitment is something that will keep you going. And that was one of the things that Miss Lewis told me on Lewis. She said, you're so blessed to have Joe. Because when you go home at night after people have beat you down all day, you can get under the cover with him and cuddle up and feel like, oh, I'm safe. It can be really lonely. So I just want to show you a few pictures of the school, not much because time is up, but this is our multi-million-dollar building.
Nice.
That we have a campus, and this is an award that I got from Wheelock College, which was really, really nice because they gave me the award that was for the person who started Wheelock College.
Oh, wow.
And they likened my work with her work. And then this is we all know it takes a village to raise a child, and we run the school with that in mind, knowing that it takes a village and that we all have to work together and contribute to it. And the school is also built on cultural resonance, which is an awareness of the sensitivity that brings in the culture of the children that you work with.